So today we'll talk about if else statement. First of all, let's comment these codes slash star and at the end star slash. Now let's write if else statements. So the syntax for if else statement is, so first we'll write if, then open and close round brackets, and then open and close curly brackets. Now inside this close bracket we can write any boolean value. Let's say we write true, and then between these curly brackets we can write the code that we want to run if this statement is true. Usually there are two types of formats that people follow for writing if statement. One is you can write it here, and in the first type the open curly bracket is in the same line of the if statement. But there is a second type of formatting which is also very common. In that format we put this open curly bracket in a new line. There we go. Now we can write our code from here. Let's say we write console dot log, and inside this let's write true. Now save this. Let's open our console, and there we go. This was a true statement, therefore we are running this code, and if we change this to false and save this, then this code will not run. Now usually with if statement, if this is not true, then there is a else block also. So the syntax for that, we'll write else and then open and close curly bracket. So here again we have both the choices for formatting our code. Let's stick to this format. So here we will change this from here to here. Now it's perfect, and inside this else block we can write, let's say here we write console dot log. Inside this let's print else block. Save this, and there we go. Now here the condition for the if statement was false, so therefore the code of else block executed. Now here instead of directly putting boolean value, we usually give this some conditions. Let's say 3 is greater than say 5, and if this condition is true, then only run this code, otherwise run the code of else block. Now since this statement is false, so again the code of else block will be executed. You can see this. Let's say there we go. Now if we change the condition from 3 is greater than 5 to 3 is less than 5, then this condition becomes true, and now only this statement will execute. Save this. There we go. Here let's see some practical example of using if else statement. Let's say some exam was conducted and student obtained some marks, and we want to see whether any student passed or failed in that exam. So for that we can use if else statement. So first of all let's create a variable using const marks, and then marks, let's say we have 46, and now let's create another variable called passing marks. So we'll write const, for saving time I'm just gonna write p marks, and let's say passing marks is 35 out of 100, and let's create if block. If marks is greater than or equal to p marks, then we'll console p. So else we're gonna console fail. For that we'll write f, and now save this file, and now we are getting p means passed. Let's say we change the marks from 46 to 23. Now save this. Now we are getting F, which means fail. Now let's say there is some grade system in the exam. So if any student gets more than 27 marks but less than 35, then he will pass by grace. So for that we have another statement apart from if or else, that is else if. After the else we'll write if. So it is else if. Now we need to give a condition. Inside this we'll write the condition, and the condition would be marks is greater than or equal to 27. Then what we want to print is pass by grace. Now we'll add the condition for fail. So here we'll write else console dot log, and inside this we'll write fail. Now save this, and now since the marks is even less than 27, so that's why we are saying fail. But let's say if we increase the marks from 23 to 28, now save this file, then we can see we are getting passed by grace. So this is how if else statement works. They control the flow of code. From here the execution of code goes on line by line, but from line 62 the flow of code will depend upon these conditions. If this condition is true, then the flow would be from this line will be executed, and then it will directly jump to line number 69, because now these two statements will not be even checked. So that's how if else statement controls the flow of program. One more thing that can make your code shorter: if you have only one line of code inside any if or else block, then you don't need these curly brackets. You can remove them and still the code would run. Save this. See, there's no error. So it is usually formatted something like this. We just put the statement right next to the condition, and we can do this for all these blocks. So let's do that. Now you can see our code looks much cleaner than earlier. Just if condition and then its code, else if condition, its code, and else block. Now we can even have multiple else if condition. So I think for now that's all for if else statements.